What are you personally proudest of about your time on the road?
Say that one more time.
You can answer this any way you like. What do you think is the biggest difference between this season and the first?
I think, not to be trite, but it's bigger and better. I mean, I think we were shut down for COVID, but it gave us a chance to really look at the footage that we'd already collected for season 2, and ultimately decided, because there's no source material, to bring a really epic final season and finale up this, so all of the characters get a really great character arc and journey, and and personally, for Philo, I got to really go deep on the internal life of this character, and so much so that I got to physicalize the internal life of this character in the 6th episode. And that was so fun to kind of have this dual nature of the character, like a Batman versus the Joker kind of duality inside of his head, messing with the character and how he operates. And it was fun, to do that. It was hard, it was challenging, it was like messy and honest and true. And I think that was something that is cool about this show and how it all comes to a final conclusion. It's so surprising because it isn't, it doesn't pull any punches. It's very true to life, and I love that.
So the show's ending after 2 seasons and 18 episodes, but you've lived with Philo for a very long time, since 2017. What will you miss the most about him?
I just, hopefully I'll take with me a lot of his, he's a man of action. He's true to himself whilst being, messy and complex, but, he just sort of picks up and carries on and tries to do the right thing by everyone around him with, in some really unique and challenging situations. And I think, that was definitely how I tried to play the character and how I tried to live my life.
The show is a fantasy allegory with a lot to say about current political issues, but at its heart is a love story. Without spoiling anything, how did you feel seeing the way Philo and Vignette's relationship developed over the course of this final season?
I loved it. I think it's so true. It's so messy and true. It's so honest and beautifully true. It's not pretending to be anything. It's just what it is. And I think that is a really great thing to put into the world, because, love and life are messy, and you can try and put a Hollywood ending on all sorts of things. But, you can go on social media and pretend you're one thing, but we all know you're not necessarily. And it depends how you want to portray yourself. So, in truth, I think, whilst it's this remarkable fantasy epic, story, the characters within it are so honest and true to life and messy and, struggling and trying to do the right thing. I think that's something that is worthy of a watch, if you like, and leave him wanting more, right? Leave him wanting more, rather than wringing it out and trying to come up with another 6 episodes or 8 episodes. We didn't have source material. Let's go out with a bang. I feel like that's what we do.
That leads into my final question, almost like you knew what I was going to ask. When people watch the final episode, Carnival Row comes to an end, what do you hope they take away from the show?
Life is about, that for these characters in this world is about acceptance and forgiveness and taking chances and you are what you do. You're not what you say you do. You are how you do. Our actions speak louder than our words. And, and life goes on. It's a series of obstacles. It's not going to be necessarily what you think it's going to be, but it's going to be, it ain't stopping until the curtains close. So, it is what it is for those characters in that world. And I think that.
Well, thank you so much. And I just got to say, the fact that you brought up that part in episode 6 where you get to play both sides, it was very clear how much fun you were having. And I think it's my favorite part of the entire season.
Oh,
yeah.
You're my number. I love that, man. I'm your number 1 fan. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Because
thank you so much.
I really went in on that.
It was great. I legitimately my favorite part of the season. So I was excited you mentioned it yourself.
Oh, cheers, man. Appreciate it.
What was the biggest difference between this season and the first?
The biggest difference between this season is well, it kind of picks up where it left off, but there's just so much more conflict and pain and adventure, but then also romance still, and love, and fighting for the things you love. And the ending is just fantastic. I think the audience really appreciate how the characters end up. For Vignette especially, she really grows into her own and really becomes such a leader in this season. So that really made me happy for her, for us.
So the show's going to end after 2 seasons and 18 episodes, but you've lived with Vignette for a very long time, dating back to the summer of 2017.
Yes, I have a little Irish fairy living inside me. It's great. She comes every month, so it's fantastic. Yeah.
What are you going to miss about her the most?
Not going to miss wire work, probably, because that was quite painful. But I love her love. I love how much she loves, and I love how much she always has hope, and she will always be a warrior. She never gives up. She never stops fighting. So I love that about her, and her sensitivity and her strength within that.
The show has a lot to say about, current political issues, but at its heart is a love story. Without spoiling anything, how did you feel seeing the way Philo and Vignette's relationship developed over the course of season 2?
I think, like any relationship, especially one that is started in conflict and ends and starts again, there's always elements where, they're both so drawn to being loved and to be in like a relationship, but sometimes that's not enough, especially if you have different opinions or fighting for things in different ways. I don't know. I think, they still love each other no matter what. And, it's the same with Vignette and Tourmaline. It's just still, there's so much love there. Vignette's got a big heart, so she loves a lot.
When viewers see the final episode and this is over, what do you hope they most take away from Carnival Row?
I think at the end of the day that, us as humans are not different. We are different, but we may have different stories. But at the end of the day, no one, if we really truly understood each other, no one could hate in this world. So there's a lot, I think it just says about how we have so much more to fight for than each other. It's in fight with each other.
After all this time with the show, what are you personally proudest of about your time on the road?
Say that one more time.
What are you personally proudest about your time on the row?
I'm just proud of the work. I'm proud of the crew so much. The crew worked tirelessly to make this show what it is. Without them, it would be nothing. I don't know. I put my heart into this show. It's got so much of myself in that character, and I really tried to put it all out there. Yeah, it was a lot, but it was wonderful, and I will remember it with such fond memories. Somebody
who maybe didn't watch season 1 first, but you want them to watch it now, what would you say to them before season 2 to get them to start this adventure with you?
So if you didn't, catch season 1, season 2 is brilliant, but I think the world, you will not want to miss a second of this world. This world, Carnival Row in itself, is such a brilliant, beautiful place. Season 1 starts it all off. So if you want to watch season 2, you should probably watch season 1, because you will find it hard to understand. There's a lot of words that you might not get. It's got its whole own kind of language. So check out season 1 for sure before you watch season 2.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just want to tell you, I really love Vignette. I really cared about her. I really did. So I enjoyed watching.
That's so nice. Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate that.